What's up, everyone? I hope you had a happy holidays, whether you celebrated or not. I hope the last week of your 2023 is going well. Today we are doing a reading for Who is Your Secret Admirer? So I feel like I've been getting lots of secret admirer energy lately, so this feels like it came right on time. We're going to be doing 4 piles. So pile number 1 is going to be the Ace of Clubs. Pile number 2 is going to be the 8 of Hearts. Pile number 3 is going to be the Jack of Clubs. And pile number 4 is going to be the Queen of Diamonds. And for the collective, I've got the Ace of Spades. So you guys are seen as a catch, no matter who is staring at you. And for some of these piles, I know there's going to be more than one person, more than one energy involved. But no matter who is looking at you, no matter who is admiring you right now, they see you as a catch. The Ace of Spades is always a bit of a gambling card for me. They see you as something that they would win. They would be really lucky to win. All right, and for pile number 1 again, we're going to do the 8. For pile number 1, we're doing the Ace of Clubs. For pile number 2, we're doing the 8 of Hearts. For pile number 3, we're doing the Jack of Clubs. And for pile number 4, we're doing the Queen of Diamonds. Starting off with pile number 1 and the Ace of Clubs. This is someone creative. For some of you, this is someone you know through creative pursuits. But no matter what, I don't think that this is someone you know very well. For some of you, this, as a secret admirer, this is someone who has been watching you from afar. No matter the case, this is someone who's very, very creative. The Ace of Clubs is indicative of the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands has strong manifestation energy. This is someone who is very open-minded as well. They're very open-minded. If they're not openly spiritual themselves, then they're not closed off to the idea of spirituality, of more mystical things, right? And for some of them, they've been getting readings on you. They've been getting divination done on you. Whether that's like actually going and seeing a professional tarot reader or like watching general pick of cards on YouTube. What more can we know, please, about who your secret admirer is? Someone very, very passionate, very fiery energy. This is also someone who's been manifesting you, whether that's on purpose, because there's definitely some of you are dealing with someone who's very, very spiritual themselves. And so they've been manifesting you on purpose. But even if they haven't necessarily been doing it on purpose, this person has been really drawing your energy. They're very magnetic. They're a very magnetic person. Getting strong Leo vibes. Now, when cards flip like that in my hand, but flip back over again, just like that, flip back over again before I can actually look and see them, it's a sign to me that this person has been writing and deleting messages to you. Regardless of whether or not this person like knows you by name, like you would be able to recognize them by name, or this is someone who has been like watching you from afar, this person has been trying to figure out the best way to start communications with you and start some kind of relationship with you past general acquaintances. All right, what more can we know, please, about who your secret admirer is? I'm seeing the Judgment card. Expect some kind of communication, though. This person, with all of this fiery Leo energy, this person isn't the type who would be able to stay away for very long. They're definitely someone who is used to getting what they want. And I'm getting because they're willing to fight for it. They're willing to work for what they want. Hard worker energy. Definitely work hard, play hard energy. Strong Leo energy, strong 5th house energy. This is the kind of person who they would be okay being like friends before being like serious romantic partners. They just want that door. They just want the ability to get to know you better. They feel like you have a lot in common. Like you're really compatible people. From what they can tell, they feel like you guys have a whole lot of like hobbies and interests in common. And they think that you'd be really compatible, like at the very least hanging out together. What more can we know, please, about who your secret admirer is? All right. And we've got the 4 of Swords. Now, the 4 of Swords is the rest card, but this 4 of Swords specifically it's Fenrir the Wolf restricted, right? So it's a rest, but it's not necessarily a rest that you want or a rest that you're fully enjoying. It's a restless rest. This person is, again, they're biding their time, but it's becoming something that is increasingly more restless for them. This isn't someone who's used to sitting back and waiting for things to happen. They're used to taking charge and going for what they want. And that is the energy that they're starting to lean more into towards you. I mentioned writing and deleting messages. Notice how there's a sword through his mouth there. Like, literally, this person has been, like, feeling like they're biting their tongue, feeling like they're holding themselves back. And they're not used to holding themselves back. They're not used to anything holding them back, really. Very, very straightforward, very, very fast-moving energy. This is somebody who enjoys moving forward. They enjoy motion. Like this resting thing, it feels like stasis to them, and they're not content with that. They're not content with the relationship that they have with you, whatever it is, whether it is acquaintances or even less than that. They're not content with it, and they're not going to sit with it for very long. The Star. Now, the Star energy is Aquarius energy. Aquarian energy has very strong, like, almost techie vibes to it in a more, like, modern sense. This is, for some of you, this is someone who knows you over social media, someone who, like, hasn't met you in person yet. But no matter what, the message that you should be expect some kind of, like, an email, a text, a letter, even for some of you, a DM, like, expect something casual. This is going to start off really casual, or they'd like for it to start off really casual. This is definitely someone who likes to play it cool. Even with all of this passion, they don't like, I get that they don't like necessarily putting themselves all the way out there. Definitely someone who likes to like test the waters with things like friendship, with like things like hanging out, maybe like a group date or something like that. You might have friends in common with this person. If that's the case, a group date would be like the ideal situation for them, and probably one that they're going to look more into. The Queen of Cups. Now, between the Queen of Cups and the Star energy, regardless of how you identify, this person places you on kind of a pedestal. They like what they see. Like, there's no other way to phrase it. They think of themselves very highly. They have a lot of confidence. They value themselves very highly. And it makes them value you really highly because anyone who can catch their interest has to be someone worthwhile, you know what I mean? Like, this is a very healthy sense of confidence where they're not insecure in themselves and they don't need to feel like they're better than anyone else. If anything, they want their partner to be on the same level as them. They want their partner to be compatible with them in that sense. And they feel like you are that person. They feel like you are royalty, like you've got royalty vibes going on. The Queen of Cups is also indicative of Cancer energy. I've been saying that this is strong Leo energy. Cancer and Leo are the twins. This person feels like you are very, very compatible. They feel like the two of you mesh very, very well. And it makes them it makes them want to take this seriously. That's part of why they're biding their time. That's part of why they're holding back. You know what I mean? Like, they want to take this seriously. They don't want to come on too strong, but they also don't want you to think of them as like lackadaisical or finicky or flighty in terms of how they feel about you. They're looking for a nice middle ground to approach you on. And it's making it's making them feel like they are taking too long to approach you. This is definitely a timeline that they're not used to. The Empress, again, regardless of how you identify, this person values you heavily. This person has a whole lot of respect for you. There's halos in both of these images. Again, they hold you on a kind of pedestal. I'm hearing like earth angel vibes. They might have met you at a time, like whether you know it or not, I think this person met you at a time where they were really looking for a muse. They were looking for inspiration. And they found that in you. They find you to be heavily, heavily inspiring. They find your story, the way you look, even I'm hearing, like, they're just very attracted to you and they want to get to know more about you. They feel like there's no way that this attraction could be leading them the wrong way. This is definitely someone who is comfortable following their gut, definitely someone who is comfortable following their own intuition. I mentioned it earlier, this is someone who, if they're not spiritual themselves, they're very open to spirituality. So if you yourself are spiritual openly, then they've been looking into it just out of curiosity because the person who they're into is into it. Like, very open-minded energy, very, very go with the flow energy, and it pulls them in the direction of their intuition, and their intuition and their gut are pulling them towards you, and they're not willing to let go of that feeling. In fact, they're trying to follow it all the way through. And the Ten of Swords, they might need to end, for some of you, this person might need to end things with other people before they can approach you. That is, that's a super, super intense message to end the 5-card line on. But it's not a coincidence that it's also a 10. Like, and this Ten of Swords very much involves literally cutting someone off. Like, it's, for some of you, this isn't a third party, like, romantically. This isn't someone who is like a partner of theirs who they need to end things with before they can approach you, right? I'm getting more, this is like a group of friends almost, or like a lifestyle. This person definitely places you on a little bit of a pedestal, and like, she literally is on a throne, like a coral throne, if you can see it. Like, this person, and both of these, we've talked about the halos in both. Like, this person places you on a little bit of a pedestal, and again, they want to take this seriously. They want to give this a real shot. They want a real shot with you. And I think that involves cleaning up certain aspects of their life before they can really approach you and feel comfortable with you coming into their lives. It's interesting. You have shined a light on areas of their life where they are not happy with what they have. Again, They were feeling very stagnant before they met you. They were looking for some kind of inspiration, some kind of muse when they met you, and they found it in you. And you also highlighted different aspects of their life that were making them feel so stagnant, making them feel like they needed to break out and they needed to really be free. And and you highlighted the aspects of their life that they don't want you to see, basically, like parts of their life where they're maybe not particularly proud, and they didn't realize that they weren't proud of it until they realized that they didn't want someone who they really respected to see it. You know what I mean? Very much cleanup vibes. They need to straighten themselves up a little bit before they approach you. That might be part of what's been holding them back this whole time. And the King of Wands, but they're feeling really regenerated. The King of Wands here is indicated by the Phoenix. Like, they're feeling very, very rejuvenated by your energy. Like, it feels like shedding skin. It doesn't, the Ten of Swords here is very violent, it's very bloody. But for them, it just feels like shedding skin. Like, the Phoenix goes up in flames and then is renewed, right? It feels violent. It feels like it's something uncomfortable or something painful, but ultimately it's for the best. This person feels like your energy entering into their life has renewed them in the best ways. They already feel like they owe you quite a bit. That's why they hold you in such high regard. Like this, whether you ever have a relationship with this person or not, you have shown them a new day. You know what I mean? Like, you showed up at a really, really influential time in their life and you showed them a brighter path, and they're grateful to you for that no matter what. And we've got Wolf, family-oriented, survivor, highly sought after. So I'm hearing family-oriented and survivor. This is definitely someone who, it's not a coincidence that the Empress here is Mother Teresa, or not Mother Teresa, but the Virgin Mary either. Like, this this person is very attracted to you because they feel like you are a very caring soul. And I think that they were lacking caring souls in their life. They've probably been lacking caring souls in their life. Highly sought after would indicate someone who has a lot of admirers but isn't really close to anyone. And that's kind of the vibe that's been coming through. If you are the Queen of Cups, and you are the Queen of Cups, regardless of how you identify in this particular spread, you are the Queen of Cups. They are the King of Wands. The King of Wands is also indicative of Leo energy, by the way. It is the perfect pair, and also the energy that I have been mentioning for this entire reading. Like, this person sees you as their perfect match, and they've never felt that way before. They've never had that energy with anyone before, and it's mind-boggling for them, literally, because they haven't even really gotten to know you. They are just so drawn to you. And we've got tiger sharks, ambitious, adventurous, and needs to prove themselves. I'm hearing ambitious and needs to prove themselves. They want to prove that they deserve you. This is someone who doesn't lack in confidence. This is someone who knows how much they're worth. And even knowing how much they're worth, they feel like they don't quite measure up to you, and they hold you in such high regard that this person feels like they don't quite measure up all the way yet. They really, really want this to work out, so they want to make sure that they're on your level before they approach you. And we've got the Koi, spiritual, charming, and eye-catching. This is definitely someone attractive. Leo energy is traditionally very, very attractive energy as well. This is definitely someone who's very, very attractive. I'm getting playboy, playgirl energy, like someone who is a little bit of a player. And not necessarily on purpose. This is just someone who's not used to taking things seriously. Like, it's part of why they've been caught so off guard by you. They're not used to taking situations like this seriously. They're not used to taking romantic interest seriously. And frankly, they're used to romantic interest coming towards them. Like, they're used to being approached. They're not used to having to figure out how to approach someone else. And I think for some of them, they're fighting their baser instinct, which is to be as showboaty as possible to get your attention, like to do as much as possible to get your attention so you approach them. The appropriate and mature way to go about things is to just approach you and to show you interest. But their baser instinct would have them jumping around trying to get you to look at them. We've got octopus, intelligent and street smart, uniquely beautiful, eye-catching and curiosity drawing. So that is the second eye-catching to come out. This is definitely someone, and right after highly sought after, this is definitely someone who deals with their own amount of admirers. This is definitely someone who is not lacking in the romance department at all. Also someone, survivor with the wolf earlier, and street smart with the octopus. This is someone who maybe hasn't had the easiest life. That might be why there's parts of themselves that they feel they need to straighten up, feel they need to pull together before they can really approach you and feel comfortable with you coming into their life. We've got the koi popping out again, but this time in a different position with quiet, aloof, and reclusive. Yeah, this is someone who isn't, I don't get that they are necessarily like a loner, but this is someone who's really, really difficult to get to know or get close to. There's parts of themselves that they keep locked up, I'm hearing. Parts of themselves that they don't like to approach. And I'm hearing shadow work, like especially for people who are openly spiritual. These people they're doing their own forms of shadow work before they approach you, because they're trying to work those parts of themselves out before bringing any kind of darkness into your life. And they see you as very bright. There's all of that halo energy, and the Queen of Cups is under like rays in the water. Like, they see you as very, very bright, and they don't want, even the phoenix is going towards the sun, you know what I mean? Like, they don't want to bring darkness into your world. They don't want to bring darkness into your life. It's very, very conscientious energy, frankly. This is a very sweet person. All right, and we've got the Mina bird, loud, obnoxious, and opinionated. Loud and obnoxious. Again, this person's baser instinct would have them jumping around like a fool trying to get your attention. They're trying to be more mature. They're trying to push themselves to be more mature before approaching you and before trying to get to know you or get you involved with them. That might be part of the baser instincts that they're trying to work through. Again, this person has parts of themselves that they're not proud of. They have parts of themselves that they're not proud of, and for some of them, they didn't even realize how not proud of themselves they were until they had to think about inviting someone they really, really cared about the opinion of into their life. Like, they value your opinion, and they would be really, really disappointed with themselves if you were to come into their life and show that you were disappointed in them as well. They hold your opinion in very high regard, and they want to impress you. It boils down to the fact that they really, really want to impress you. This is someone who, they're used to naturally impressing other people, and something about you puts them on defense for the first time in their life. Suddenly they want to impress you instead of the other way around. And we've got demon, vengeful, selfish, and greedy. Yeah, they've got demons, literal demons. Like, they've got parts of themselves that they're not proud of, that they really, really need to cut out of their life before they approach you, that they recognize, that they understand. They really need to cut out of their life before they approach you. They see you in, like, literal the Virgin Mary. They see you as someone who is again, this is someone who doesn't know you super well. So they know that they can't, like, everyone has flaws, right? But from what they know about you, they just see you as perfect, perfect for them. That's the phrase that is coming to mind right now. Perfect for them. This person sees you as the ideal match for them. And they're not willing to let their own bad behavior screw it up for them. And we've got flamingo, well balanced, unorthodox, extremely durable. Extremely durable with the street smart, with the survivor. This is definitely someone who their baser instincts come from a place of survival. They have had to weather extreme things in their life. And you encourage them to face those. I have a feeling that you've gone through extreme things in your life too, especially if you're open about that, especially if you've been open about how you've had to overcome, how you've had to move through life. This person takes a lot of inspiration from that, and it encourages them to face their own inner demons. It encourages them to find their own sense of balance. You know what I mean? It's it's unorthodox to have a secret admiring crush be the thing that encourages that, but ultimately you get to where you are with how you get to, right? You get to where you get to however you get to it, right? And that's part of why this person is already so attached to you. Like, you have already encouraged them to better themselves. You've already encouraged them to become better people, and they really, really appreciate that. They hold you in incredibly high regard because of it. And we've got the hummingbird, flighty, huffy, easily aggravated. Yeah, I'm flighty specifically. This person has a reputation for not being the best romantic partner. Um, and maybe not the best romantic partner isn't the best way to put it. This person has a reputation for not being the most reliable romantic partner. And it's a reputation that I have a feeling they're trying to outrun before they come anywhere near you. Especially if they're trying to get people out of their life. I have a feeling that they're trying to remove the people from their life that encourage that kind of behavior. Like, again, they're trying to clean up, and it's not that they didn't enjoy how their life was before. It's just that they had run their course on that chapter of their life. It's done. And when you run your course on some chapters of your life, that also involves saying goodbye to some people. They're in that process of transition and clearing things out. And it is the responsible thing to do to not get you involved with them during this time. And we've got Griffin. Majestic and royal, intimidating and powerful, brave and forthright. So majestic and royal pop out there already. This person sees themselves as a sort of royalty, and they see the kind of person that would say, you're my queen, so it makes me a king, or vice versa. Like, this person is very, very romantic in that regard. They have very, very romantic ideals of the relationship that they want, and they see you as the perfect mate for that. Brave and forthright as well. This is definitely someone who has a backbone. Like, it has come out. They have negative qualities, but they are the kind of person who is respectable enough to not drag you down into their shadow work while they're going through it. You know what I mean? They're respectable enough to straighten themselves up before approaching someone who they have so much respect for. And we've got lion. I knew the lion card was going to pop out. Family oriented, territorial, and vain. Territorial pops out there right away. This person is they're so worried that you're going to get snatched up before they can approach you. If you have a partner, they go insane thinking about it. Like, this person, regardless of whether or not you have a partner, they will be approaching you. They just can't help themselves. Territorial to the max. They definitely have a possessive streak, and they already kind of feel possessive over you. They'll try to hold it back. They'll try to play it cool. But I have a feeling that it will come across very clearly just how much they respect and idealize you. Do expect a message from this person soon, though. They won't be able to stay away for very long. All right, loves, that is what I've got for you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope it was fun. I hope it was entertaining. I will see you next time. Bye. All right, and we are on pile number 2 with the 8 of Hearts. It feels important to mention that this already feels like the X pile. The 8 of Hearts is indicative of the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups is all about moving on. This is someone who you've moved on from. For some of you, this might not be a romantic ex. This wasn't someone who you had a flat-out romantic relationship with. I'm getting for a lot of you, this was someone who was kind of more of a situationship. It wasn't like a defined relationship. And there's a whole lot of regret at not defining that relationship before you moved on to better things. But fair warning, if you don't want to hear about your ex, don't pick a different pile. There's definitely someone more important who is interested in you. I know it. Yeah, heavy regret though. This person really regrets letting you move on. Don't let my bias against exes make things bad. I'm not getting like a super toxic energy. I'm not getting like something. I'm just getting something kind of sad. This person really regrets not having you in their life anymore. This person really, really wants to try again. I'm hearing try again. Second chances. I'm also hearing that a lot of you don't believe in second chances, though, and that's why this person has been staying away. They don't want to risk having you... They don't want to risk having you decimate them upon approaching, basically. Because I'm getting for most of you that this wasn't a super dramatic breakup. It wasn't like a huge fight. It wasn't a huge falling out. It was just kind of a natural progression of things, especially if it was like a situationship that had like run its course at that point. Basically, it was either level up or say goodbye. And if they chose to say goodbye, it's a huge, huge regret that they have. What more can we know, please, about who your secret admirer is? I'm hearing Valentine's Day. Yeah, this is someone who you have memories with, whether that's memories in February or memories of Valentine's Day specifically, maybe even memories of spring just in general. This is someone who you have memories of. And I'm getting fond memories. I'm getting someone who you have fond memories of. I think I've mentioned this before, but when cards flip over in my... Literally like that. When cards flip over in my hand and I can't see them before they flip back over, it's a sign that people are writing and deleting messages. This person has been trying to figure out how to reapproach you. They just don't know how. Again, for some of you, I don't think that you believe in things like second chances. And honestly, if it's something like a situation that like ran its course or a full relationship that ended, like, it would make sense for you not to want to try again. And they know that. The King of Pentacles popped out in reverse here. This person has felt very, very uprooted. Like, literally the roots are in the air here. Like, this person has felt very, very uprooted since you have left their life. And I'm getting for some of you, you've been out of their life for a second. Like, it's been a second since you've been involved with them. And that whole time, they have felt very, very uprooted. At the very least, they felt like they haven't grown at all since they've been with you, regardless of what's been happening in their life, regardless of how they have like physically been moving forward. They feel like they haven't emotionally moved on since meeting you. Yeah, the Seven of Coins, they feel like they've just been going through the motions. They feel like they've just been doing the work. The Seven of Pentacles is about putting in effort and not seeing returns on it yet. Like, this person, especially if they have been out of your life for a very long time, this person is recognizing the fact that they haven't felt emotionally well since you left their life. Like, I'm getting, for a lot of them, they're recognizing now that they've been running away. The Hanged Man with Sleeping Beauty, they've literally been sleeping on you this whole time. Like, they've been trying so hard to get away from your memory, and they can't help it. They are so stuck on you. They haven't emotionally grown at all. Sleeping Beauty was about a girl who was put into a death sleep and didn't age at all for 100 years. Like, this person, no matter how long they've been out of your life, they feel like they haven't grown. They feel like they haven't matured. They feel like they haven't emotionally stepped up since knowing you, since having you in their life. And I'm seeing the Page of Swords. I'm seeing spy energy. This is definitely someone who's been trying to keep an eye on you. If you don't have social media, then this is someone who has either been asking around about you, or like, I'm getting even like going to places where they have memories of going with you, and like almost hoping that they can run into you. Not necessarily going to places where they know you'll be, but going to places where they have memories with you, like trying to relive the memories that they used to have with you, and hoping against hope that like maybe destiny will have you there, and maybe you guys can like run into each other and try again. Yeah, Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is the most romantic of all the knights. This is definitely someone who has very strong romantic ideals in mind. They would like to run into you again. This is someone who would really like to accidentally be fated to run into you one more time, for your eyes to meet across a room, and for both of you to realize that you're still madly in love. This is someone who holds a whole lot of very, very dreamy romantic ideals. Both the Hanged Man and the Knight of Cups are indicative of Pisces energy. The Hanged Man with Neptune, and the Knight of Cups with literal Pisces. There's a whole lot of dreamy romantic energy surrounding this person. There's been something very triggering for them lately. You likely have memories of them. Yeah, the Hermit. They've been very, very in their heads like lately. You likely have memories with this person during the holiday season. I'm currently in the holiday season. This reading is timeless, but I'm in the week between Christmas and New Year's. Anywhere from like Thanksgiving time to Valentine's Day time, you likely have memories with this person. And they've been really in their head about it recently. They've been really, really reflective and really, really nostalgic about the memories that you two had together. The Hermit is also indicative of Virgo energy. Virgo energy, like Pisces energy, is a mutable energy. So Virgo, Pisces, I'll remember what all the mutable energies are. Until I do, though, the mutable energies. This is someone who's really low key, frankly. Definitely not the center of attention. This is someone who, and it's funny because I'm getting that you are someone who shines very brightly. Like, you two are probably very compatible. It's likely how you managed to last together for so long. The Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is Gemini energy, which is another mutable energy. Yeah, this is someone who you were very compatible with them. I'm getting that you are likely a very, very bright spirit, and they're more low key. You matched really well. You meshed together really well. I'm hearing that jealousy was something that came up a lot though. This person was very jealous of your light. This person was very jealous of how you managed to command a crowd, how you managed to make people look at you and make people see you. And it's unfortunate because it's what drew them to you as well, obviously. Like, they were also drawn to the fact that you are this bright, amazing human being. Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the last mutable energy. Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, and Virgo. Those are the big signs that have been popping out for help identifying this person. I told you I'd remember. But this is definitely someone who is a little bit more low-key, someone who's a little bit flighty, someone who can be a little bit flighty. That's why they were so drawn to you, so incredibly. The Eight of Cups to mirror the Eight of Hearts energy. That's part of why they were so drawn to you. They were so drawn to you because they loved your light, but they're so flighty that once they got close, they couldn't handle how bright you were. The Eight of Cups is all about moving on, and notice how they're moving on in the dead of night. Like, they could not handle how bright your energy was. They couldn't handle how it felt to be around you. I'm getting really sunny energy. I'm getting bright like the sun energy. Like, this person couldn't handle being eclipsed by you. And it's massively, it's really disappointing. It's disappointing just in general, but it's hugely disappointing to them. They are very disappointed in themselves for not being able to handle the brightness that drew them to you in the first place. It's embarrassing, frankly. Like, they ended up holding something against you that they loved in the beginning, that drew them to you in the beginning. I'm hearing for some of them, it makes them feel like they're failures. It makes them feel like they've totally fumbled the bag. Like, they didn't. This is someone who has esteem issues. This is definitely someone who has self-esteem issues. I put the Eight of Cups back in and it popped out again. Like, this is definitely someone who has self-esteem issues. And when they feel their self-esteem triggered, when they feel like they aren't enough, they run. Or they lash out. Like, they can't handle feeling like they're not enough. They don't move forward. That's not what they do. They're learning that that's part of what the emotional, they're learning that's part of what their emotional stunting is. Like, they still haven't matured to a place where they would be comfortable with how bright you are. In fact, you have only gotten brighter, and you are so bright now that it is triggering for them just in general, even with the distance between you guys, because it shines a light on how much they have not grown in the time that you guys have been separated. Now you are so bright that it is triggering just for them to look at you. And it shines a light on just how sad it is that they fumbled you. Like, this is someone who has massive self-esteem issues. So at first, they were really proud of themselves. At first, they could not believe that they managed to get their hands on someone like you. But ultimately, their self-esteem issues, their sense of, their lack of self-worth ended up being their downfall in the end. I'm getting for some of you, this was unfortunately a really drawn out ending. Like there was no specific time that things ended for you guys. It was like a long drawn out process of really, really strenuous emotional work where you were just growing apart and having to acknowledge the fact that you two were not compatible anymore. All right, what more can we know, please, about who your secret admirer is? All right, the Six of Coins. This is someone who, when you first met them, it felt like it was almost to them. I'm not saying that you felt this way, but to them, it felt almost like the universe was giving them a gift. Like the universe was giving them something that they almost didn't deserve. I'm getting, for some of you, this might be someone who, when you met them, they like showed you off to all their friends, and even their friends couldn't believe that they had nabbed you. Like, this, at first, they really, really appreciated the fact that you were, the fact that you would ever give them the time of day. At first, they really, really liked how much you shone. At first, it was really complimentary how their friends were like, damn, you got someone like that. But after a while, it started grating on them. After a while, it started being something where I'm hearing a very specific phrase in my head, and it's impossible for me to say it without giving you the backstory. So bear with me for just a second through the worst story in the entire world, probably. Massive over exaggeration. A rather embarrassing story. One of my exes, he worked at a tire shop, and I used to drop him off lunch when I wasn't working. And he, at first, was really, really, he thought it was really funny that his coworkers couldn't believe that I was his girlfriend. But after a while, after months to years of him working at the place, one day at the end of our relationship, he came home in a horrible mood after I had dropped off his food. And he was furious about the fact that they were treating him like it was a massive miracle that I would ever give him the time of day. And he said very specifically, it's not like they know what I go through behind the scenes. And that line has stuck with me forever. That is the line that I'm hearing right now. Like, initially, this person was so, so happy and so proud to have you. And eventually, your light became something that was too much for them. Eventually, your light became something that was ultimately, it drew too many people towards you. Eventually, it was, I'm getting that this person is a little bit possessive. Eventually, it was too much that other people were seeing your light too. And you ultimately you outshone them. You outshone them from the very beginning, but after a while, it really started to grate on them. You outshone them. And we've got the Six of Cups. Yep, the Six of Cups is all about nostalgia. This person has been trapped in nostalgia lately. Notice the crow overlooking the exchange. Like, this person is remembering the good times that you had together, and it hurts because every memory ends in the fact that they fumbled, like they ended up losing you. It's super, super unfortunate. They can't help but remember the fact that they really screwed up. And they also can't help remembering the fact that they have a million good memories with you. We've got the Tower. Now, the Tower is a 7, so 2 6s to a 7. This person still sees you as someone who helped them grow. Ultimately, even through the hardships that came after losing you, because again, I'm getting that this wasn't like a super dramatically ended relationship for a lot of you. This is something that, like, it ran its course. For a lot of you, this was like a situationship that ultimately ran its course. Like, even even with the hardships that came after, though, I'm feeling that like the Tower moments that followed the ending, it took them losing you to recognize how much they really wanted you back and how much they really needed you in their life. Like, even with all of the Tower moments that followed, they can't deny the fact that you helped them grow. Like, I'm getting, for some of you, you taught this person like literal basic life skills. The Six of Pentacles is about like balance in the physical world, right? Like, for some of you, this person, you taught them literal life skills, and you literally helped them mature into a better person. Like, it, they can't deny the progress that you gave them. It's super, super unfortunate. And They cannot deny that they faced massive tower moments after you left their life. The tower is popping up at the exact middle of your 5 card spread. When they think about you, they still think about things collapsing. They still think about losing you. And the 6 of Swords. They're trying to move on to a better place, though. We're going back down to a 6, though. They feel like moving away from you is moving backwards. Like they're trying to move on to a better place, but they can't help but feel like a better place is always going to involve you. This is also the third 6. Sixes are about internal balance and health. This person feels like you are their happy place. I'm getting like happy place, even with the 6 of Swords and how it involves moving forward into a different realm, right? Like, I'm getting that you are their happy place, and they're trying to figure out how they can move forward towards you. Moving forward for them is moving backwards. It's so ironic because they want you back. They keep looking back. They cannot move forward because they keep looking back. And when they do look forward, they don't like what they see. They feel like things are, I'm getting endless. Like this person feels like things are endless. They've been doing nothing but trying to forget about you for some of you, years. Like they've been doing nothing but trying to forget about you for years, and nothing has worked. So they keep looking back. They keep looking back at the tower behind them. They can't help it. Like, you mean too much to them. The memories that you have with them mean too much to them for them to let them go. But the memories themselves are so painful because of how things ended, because of all of the tower moments that came after that came after all of the realizations that they had to go through upon losing you. Like, for them, they want to move forward towards you. They just don't know how to do that. The 5 of Pentacles. We moved up from 2 6s to a 7, and then back down from a 6 to a 5. And the 5 that we moved to is the 5 of Pentacles. This person feels, again, endless. Everything feels endless for them. Behind them is the Tower. Behind them are all of the memories with you that hurt. But ahead of them is just emptiness and loneliness and coldness. And I'm getting that this person isn't alone. It's not like they're alone. There's 2 people in this boat. Like, I'm getting that this person, there's even 2 people falling out of the tower. I'm getting that this person is very, very, they're still popular amongst their own. Like, they still have people in their life that like them and care about them. They just feel alone. They cannot help but feel left out in the cold. They cannot help but feel totally alone because they don't have you anymore. And especially when they see you living your life, when they see you shining and doing well, they can't help but be in pain over it. And the 4 of Wands, for some of you, you've moved on. For some of you, you have definitely moved on. And that is the reason why they are feeling so out in the cold. It is super unfortunate, but you're happy. Even if you haven't moved on to like a physical, real, even if you haven't moved on to a romantic relationship, like you have moved on. And this person hasn't. They've stayed in the exact same place. And they're really ashamed of that, frankly. They're not proud of the fact that they have no growth to show since you leaving their life. And they're not proud of the fact the 4 of Wands traditionally has a couple with 4 wands, 2 on each side surrounding them. They're not happy with the fact that you are totally blocked off from them now. Like, they know that you have moved on. They know that if they respect you, if they really care about you, they should stay out of your life because you've been doing better without them. And we've got Beaver, dedicated hard worker and team player. This person has been talking to other people about you. Team player. This person has definitely been trying to get advice from other people about you. With this tower in the middle, though, I'm getting that this person isn't getting the advice that they want. They're being told that they should move on from you, especially if they're going to people who were in their life when things ended with you. You know what I mean? And it's most likely that they are still around people who are in their life who were in their life when things ended with you, because they haven't moved on from anything. Like, they're in the exact same space. For some of these people, they're going to the exact same spots, they're seeing the exact same people, they're drinking the exact same stuff, they're eating the exact same stuff. Like, they haven't moved on from anything at all. So especially for the people who are going to people who are there when they left you, or when you left them, or when things fell through, like, they're like, you have no future with this person. Why are you so stuck on them? Like, why are you still bringing them up? You have no future with this person. You should leave them alone. And we've got vampire, seductive, powerful, and elegant. This is definitely someone attractive, though. This is definitely someone attractive. The tower energy has very strong, fiery appeal energy to it as well. This is someone who is a very appealing person. I'm getting magnetic. They're popular. I think I mentioned this already. They're popular within their own group of friends. They're popular within their own community. They should feel content, because ultimately I'm getting that they have everything that they want. It's not like they haven't moved on from the place that they've been in because there hasn't been the opportunity. You know what I mean? This is the kind of person that it feels like they get they let themselves go stagnant because they let themselves get too content with everything around them. They let themselves they fall into the mindset, they have self-confidence issues. They fall into this mindset where, like, they can't move forward because it'll be losing the safety of where they are already. You know what I mean? We've got Falcon, loyal, collaborative, and intelligent. Intelligent pops out the most there. This is somebody who's very intelligent. This is somebody who's very smart. Um, they're intelligent enough to see that the fact that you have moved forward in life and they haven't says poor things about them, even if they're still happy with where they are. They feel they can't help but compare the progress in the two of your lives, and they can't help but feel like they come up short. And we've got Wyvern Dragon, elegant and high class, wealthy and powerful. And it's really weird because I don't think that they're struggling at all. Like, they feel like they're in a really good spot. They feel like they've been in a really good spot. 3 sixes indicate someone who is generally healthy and, like, well maintained and has very good physical assets, you know what I mean? Wealthy, powerful, elegant, high class. Like, this isn't someone who's struggling financially or struggling materially, but it doesn't matter because they still feel like they haven't grown at all. They still feel like they've got no maturity to speak of. They still feel like they can't approach you without making it clear that they've done nothing since you two have been separated to better themselves. And we've got Salamander, polarizing, seductive, and survivor. That's the second seductive to come out. This is someone who doesn't hurt for romantic interests. Again, I have a feeling that they have been actively trying to forget about you and actively trying to move on from you for a very long time, and they can't. They haven't been able to. They cannot get away from the thought of you. They cannot move on from you. It is, and I'm getting the fact that it's killing them. I get that it is very difficult for them to admit that they can't let go of you in this regard, because they are still heavily, intimately attracted to you. And no matter what they do, they cannot find someone who is better. And we've got Demon, hedonistic, sensual, and self-indulgent. This is someone who does not hurt romantically and does not hurt in the more carnal sense either. The fact that they are so stuck on you, however, has been getting in the way of that for them. Just as a side note, especially if you are in a relationship, the thought of you with someone else kills everything for them. Like, you have been getting in the way of them finding intimate pleasure with other people recently. And that's where we're ending the reading. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. Thank you for letting me get way too personal at some point. I hope this was fun. I hope it was entertaining. Thank you for putting up with me. I will see you next time. Bye. All right, and we are on pile number 3 with the Jack of Clubs. Now, the Jack of Clubs is indicative of Sagittarius energy. So we're looking at someone very exuberant, someone who has a lot of energy, someone very, I'm hearing youthful, someone who is either young or very young at heart, young-spirited, adventurous, someone very adventurous and athletic. I'm hearing athletic, someone who likes to, regardless of how they look, someone who really likes to move around. You know what I mean? Someone who might get restless sitting in one spot for too long. I'm also hearing someone competitive. I'm seeing the 5 of Wands energy. Someone who can get a little bit competitive. Someone who might be into sports, whether they like watching or playing it. Someone who might be I was literally about to say someone who might be into video games too on the other end of that with the 2 of Wands. Both like restless in the sense of needing to get out and play, and restless in the sense of like needing to hop online and be around other people and experience that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Either way, this is someone who has a little bit of a competitive streak going on. And it can be difficult to catch and hold their attention, I'm hearing. So it is very unlike them to be so stuck on you. I'm hearing that it is new to them. If not necessarily new to them, it is kind of novel to them. This isn't what they're used to. Being so interested in someone. I'm getting friend. I'm getting, for most of you, this is someone who you have as a friend. Maybe not like a really good friend or a really long-lasting, or a friend that you've had for a really long time, but definitely friend energy. If not friends, this is someone who you are on good terms with. And Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is Aries energy, so we're getting a lot of fire energy already. This is someone really fiery, someone really bright. This is the kind of person who's not afraid to start communication, someone who's not afraid to send that first text or that first DM. So I'm getting that this is definitely someone who you already have a sort of relationship with, even if it's not like, even if it's just acquaintances. This is someone who you've had interactions with before. For most of you, though, I'm getting friend. This is a friend vibe. This might be someone who doesn't really date, who isn't really, like, into dating, who really isn't into... For some of you, someone who isn't even really a romantic person for the most part. Like, they are just very attracted to you. There's something very novel about their attraction to you. Something very unique in their life. They don't know how to tell you how they feel. This is the 3rd time I'm saying this in different contexts in this reading. But when cards flip over in my hand like that, but earlier when they flipped back over again, it lets me know that there's communication that needs to go through but isn't quite going through. This person wants to tell you about how they feel about you, but doesn't know how. They've been keeping it to themselves. Hermit energy, right? They've been trying to find the answers to how to approach you and how best to... I'm getting that they don't want to ruin your friendship. This is very classic energy in that regard, right? This is someone who doesn't want to ruin your friendship, so they've been kind of sitting on it and meditating with the best way to approach you with how they feel. Hermit energy is very meditative energy, very much soul-searching and and the kind of energy that looks for answers. This is someone who has been... The Hermit popped out one more time. I put it back and it popped out again. This is someone who has been very much trying to trying to find the best way to move forward with your relationship, because they're realizing that they don't want what they have with you right now. They want something more serious. They want to get closer to you, and they're trying to find the best way to do that without screwing up what they already have with you. The Hermit energy, the Hermit is also indicative of Virgo energy. Virgo, Sagittarius, they're both mutable energies. And the Page of Wands with more of that youthful energy again. This is definitely someone very youthful, definitely someone who's not afraid to adventure out, to do new things. Someone very, very fiery. If not someone literally younger than you, then someone who is very, very young at heart, someone who has a very youthful spirit. I'm getting for some of you someone who they might not have, regardless of how old they are, they might not have experienced a whole lot in life. Yeah, Knight of Swords, another mutable energy. I was in the middle of saying that when the Page of Wands popped out. The Knight of Swords is Gemini. So Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces energy. Those are all mutable energies, and those are the signs that are coming through the most for your reading right now. But we're definitely looking at someone who is very, very charming. Gemini energy is very, very charming. This is someone who is very charming, someone who can be very, very slick with their words. I'm getting someone who, yeah, the Ace of Swords, someone who usually knows what to say. They always have the right words to say. So occasionally they can be accused of being inauthentic. People can find them to be inauthentic with how they come across. They're just very good with their words. They're very charming people. They know how to compliment people. They know the right things to say. And I'm getting that it can be kind of hard to take them seriously because of it. Very flirty energy. This person is somewhat of a natural flirt. And they know it. They're very aware of it. They know that they have very naturally flirty vibes. And I'm getting that they really like that about themselves. I'm getting that that's not something that they're ashamed of. They like the fact that they have an easy time moving through crowds. They like the fact that they have admirers. They like the fact that it's easy for them to flirt and easy for them to have that kind of relationship to other people. It's why it's so novel for them that they want you to take them seriously. They're trying to figure out how to get you to take them seriously because they aren't someone who usually wants to be taken seriously in this regard. Especially if you're this person's friend, you might have seen them being not the best romantic partner, like not a serious romantic partner. Like you might be heavily aware of the fact that this isn't the kind of person who you would want to take seriously in that regard. And they are trying to figure out how to get you to take them seriously while also staying true to themselves. Because I'm definitely getting that this is someone who really likes who they are. This is someone who isn't ashamed of the fact that they're more flirty energies, someone who isn't ashamed of the fact that they have a bit of a history being kind of flighty in their interactions with romantic partners or potential romantic partners. They're not ashamed of themselves, but that doesn't change the fact that they still want something serious with you. They're trying to find the best way to be true to themselves while still showing you that they are serious about you. It's definitely what's been holding them back from approaching you with how they feel, or trying to take the relationship that you already have to a more serious level, whether that's from acquaintance to friend or from friend to something more. All right, what more can we know, please, about who your secret admirer is? Definitely someone very clever. This is someone who is very, very clever. Very good with their words. And I'm getting very good at reading other people. Very good with people. This is someone who's very, very good with people. And we've got the Fool. The Fool is Aquarius energy. And Aquarius energy is strong community energy. This is someone who's very good with other people. And someone, again, who's not afraid to start new things, not afraid to have new adventures. The Fool here is indicated by the Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid who wasn't afraid to do what she had to do to get to her dreams. You know what I mean? This is someone who is willing to take risks, someone who is definitely willing to put themselves out there to get what they want. And this might be someone who has been accused of being maybe a little bit spontaneous and unthinking in how they approach life. Like, they might be the kind of person who isn't always fully prepared when they walk out on these new adventures. The Fool in the Rider-Waite deck originally is, it's depicted by a young man who is setting off on a new adventure, and he's not dressed properly for it. He is very, very exuberant, he's very excited, he's got all of the energy for it, but he is not dressed properly for it. And it's kind of the first sign that he maybe hasn't completely thought out everything. For the Little Mermaid, she was so desperate to get on land that she didn't quite think out all of the details, right? She didn't quite weigh all of the details correctly. This is someone who has been accused before of being unthinking in how they approach life, and maybe a little bit too lackadaisical in how they approach, in their approach to things. And that kind of reputation sticks to how they view, or how they have approached traditionally or historically relationships with other people. They have a bit of a reputation for being a massive flirt. They have a bit of a reputation for not being someone that you take seriously when they're talking to you in that regard. I'm seeing someone who comes on to the people around them almost in a way that, like, isn't supposed to be taken seriously. Like, flirting is just how they communicate with other people. They can't help themselves. They flirt with their friends, they flirt with strangers. Like, they just come off as very flirty people. And we've got the Three of Pentacles. Someone very talented, though. This is definitely someone very talented and someone who learns very, very quickly. The Three of Pentacles is about not just being talented, but being, like, well respected and elevated for your work, being like a known talent amongst your work. For it to go from the Fool to the Three of Pentacles like this it's indicative of somebody who learns very, very quickly. When they put their mind to something, they can learn very quickly. Someone very intelligent. I think I already mentioned that this is someone very, very clever, very quick on their feet, someone who can think very well under pressure, someone who learns very, very quickly. This is also someone who, again, might be a little bit unaware of just how talented and blessed they are, to the point where it is frustrating for the people around them. People who have had to put in so much more work, so much more effort to getting to where they are and to being as talented as they are. They see this person who just started, who is just as talented as them, and it draws some jealousy, to say the least. It can draw some negative feelings towards them. Notice how there are two demons in the background and his eyes are closed. Like, this is someone who approaches life with a very, very happy disposition. This is someone who approaches life with this idea and this personality that says that everything will work out. That I'm hearing that very strongly. Everything will work out, no matter what, no matter what's facing them, no matter what's getting in their way, everything will work out. And that personality, that that, especially when it does work out for them, especially when they are correct and it does always work out, it can be so frustrating for people around them. I get the sense that this is someone who draws a lot of jealousy towards them, and they don't even realize it. They don't even realize when they say things that it comes off as bragging. This is probably someone who doesn't even realize that they're flirting all the time. Someone who might be accused of, someone who might say, when they're accused of flirting all the time, might say, I don't know what you're talking about. This is just how I talk. Like, they don't realize just how magnetic they are, or just how talented they are. This is someone who is very blessed in many areas of their life, and it can be kind of frustrating because they don't quite recognize just how blessed they are in so many different aspects of their life. Don't get me wrong, this is still someone who works hard. You would have to work hard to elevate to this level so quickly. You know what I mean? Like, this is definitely someone who works hard, but their working hard doesn't look like everybody else is working hard. Their working hard still looks like they're having fun. Their working hard looks like they make working hard look fun, basically. They make working hard look easy. And it doesn't matter if people try to imitate them or replicate their work, it's unreplicatable. This is someone who draws a whole lot of admiration from the people around them. And I get the feeling that that's part of why it's so novel for them to admire someone else. Like, they draw a lot of admiration towards themselves, so it is a novel change for them to admire you so much. It's a novel change for them to have to think about how you view them, to have to value your opinion on them now. We've got the Five of Cups, and I get the feeling that you've been bringing out some. This is someone who may run the from the more difficult thoughts and memories in life. Everyone's been through stuff, regardless of how talented, how blessed, how easy a life looks. Everyone's been through stuff at one point or another, right? I get the feeling that wanting attention from you and wanting validation from you, it brings up some darker emotions in this person as well, like things that they run from, things that they hide from. The way that the Little Mermaid is looking off into space and daydreaming, the way that his eyes are totally closed. Like, this person has certain memories and certain, for some of them it's not even memories, it's like actual characteristics of themselves that they try to not focus on all of the time. And in recognizing that they want your attention, that they want your validation, they are having to come to terms with some of the darker parts of themselves, or some of the parts of themselves that they don't like quite as much, some of the memories that get under their skin. For some of these people, the reason why they try not to recognize how talented they are is because they've faced rejection before. This is someone who's very, very adverse to rejection, someone who is confident in what they do and values what they do, but they're really, really rejection sensitive. And wanting attention from you, wanting validation from you, wanting to put themselves out there and potentially have a relationship with you, not knowing if you care about them in return, it triggers some darker emotions in them. It triggers some of the darker memories that they have. Literally, the hand dragging her down into the depths, right? Like, this person, and I can't help but realize the Little Mermaid wants out of the water. Water is very, very intuitive in the sense of like emotion, right? There's a lot of feeling that goes into watery signs. There's a lot of emotion that goes into water as a conduit. This person tries not to sink too deep. This person tries not to get too deep. They try not to get too deep in emotions. They try not to get too deep in relationships. This is someone who really, really thrives on surface level stuff. That's part of why they don't acknowledge how talented they are. They don't acknowledge how easy things come to them, or how easy the work is for them to do, because acknowledging that kind of talent also means setting a bar for themselves. You know what I mean? If they're just kind of or if they're just kind of passively playing at things, then it's not the same thing as them putting in the effort and putting themselves out there to potentially fail. That's not what they do. They try to keep everything very low key. They try to keep everything very, very fun, very, very easygoing. I'm getting very jellyfish vibes, very go with the flow vibes. And we've got the Star. They look up to you, though. This person really looks up to you. The way that she's looking up mirrors the way that the Little Mermaid is looking up here. This person really looks up to you. And those are the only two cards on the table so far where where the figure indicative of them has their eyes open. And this card, his eyes are closed. And this card, she's holding her face. Like, this person really looks up to you in a way that they don't usually look up to other people, in a way that they don't usually find inspiration from other people. It's why you can bring out such strong emotions from them. The Five of Cups is at the exact middle of the spread. It's how you can manage to bring out such strong emotion, such powerful feeling in them. And Temperance. But you bring a lot of, they feel like having you in their life would also bring a lot of peace to their life. Temperance is also indicative of Sagittarius energy. Again, just like with the card that started this is doubling down on the fact that this is a person who, the darkest parts of themselves are in their own mind. You know what I mean? Like, they have a lot going for them. They have a lot of blessings. They have a lot of talents. The darkest parts of themselves are in their own mind. The darkest parts of themselves are all under the water if they choose to dive in deep. You bringing out those dark parts of themselves, you bringing out all of what lies below the depths, it feels cathartic in a lot of ways. It's part of why this person looks up to you so much. You might be someone who's very open about things that you have gone through in your life. You might be someone who has a very, very significant backstory, or a very difficult formative time that you are open about and that you share, or that you've talked to this person about. And they take a lot of inspiration from how you have managed to get past things. They take a lot of inspiration from how you have managed to keep moving forward in your life. They feel like having you in their life they feel like having a more serious relationship with you would be a very healing experience. Very healing. The term that keeps coming to mind there is healing. They view you as a very, very calming, healing presence. With all of that Sagittarius energy, this is someone who I'm getting is very into partying. Like, this is someone who, and if not flat out partying, this is someone who doesn't have a hard time having fun. Basically, someone who has a really easy time having a very good time, basically. Sorry about that. That was a phone call I had to take. Anyway, again, with all of the Sagittarius energy, this feels like someone who really likes to party, have a good time. Like, even if it doesn't mean like actually going out and like actually partying, this is someone who really, really likes to have a good time. And I feel like that can make it difficult for them to unwind. This is someone who has a difficult time relaxing sometimes, getting restless energy here. I think I might have mentioned that at the very beginning of this. Very, very much restless energy. They find peace with you. You are someone who they find a lot of peace with, and they want more of that peace in their life. They want more of your influence in their life. And we've got the Ace of Wands. Definitely someone who is very, very, I'm getting creative in the sense of there's never a dull moment with them. Like, they know how to turn anything into a game. They know how to turn anything into a fun experience. Again, this is someone who really knows how to have a good time. I'm also getting that this is someone who they really want to, like, I'm getting someone romantic in the sense of, like, they really want to write a story with you. Like, they want to write a sort of love story with you. You're someone that they're interested in, and I'm definitely getting that is not the case with most people, and they really want that to turn into something more, something beautiful. I'm hearing the term beautiful even. Minotaur, athletic and strong, protective and competitive. I mentioned all of those things at the very beginning. Athletic and competitive especially. This is definitely someone who has a bit of a competitive streak in them. And I'm getting that this is someone who, if you have someone else in your life, They are not afraid to fight for you. They're not afraid to try and win you over. They're not afraid to try and, for some of you, break it up even, like, not to be like that guy or anything, but this person definitely has a bit of a competitive streak in them, and I'm getting a little bit of a possessive streak in them too, and that's already coming out in regards to you. Athletic coming out does double down on the fact that this is someone who they like competitive sports, whether that is like physical sports or like online gaming or anything like that. This person really likes for some of them they might like gambling, that comes to mind, but moreover they like being involved in like the adrenaline of not knowing who's gonna win something, basically. All right, what more can we know, please, about who is your secret admirer? Who your secret admirer is? Karen, lucky charm, mystically powerful, unusually intuitive and intelligent. Yeah, definitely someone very intelligent. Again, and lucky charm and mystically powerful. It's very, very odd how quickly they learn things. It's very, very odd how easily things seem to come to them. Getting very God's favorite energy. This person might be accused of being like a God's favorite kind of person. Like things seem to come very easily to them, is what it is. Talents, blessings, things seem to come fairly easy to them. And again, I'm getting that that's not always the case for them. They've got some darker things in their life. They've got some darker memories in their life. But when you're on the surface level, like where they like to keep things, they seem to be a very lucky, blessed person. Things seem to come very, very easily to them. And we've got the vulture. Misunderstood, unkempt, and quiet. Misunderstood popping out right after that. Again, this is someone who has some darker stuff to them. Things aren't as bright and sunny for them as they really want other people to see them as. I'm getting that there's a front that they like to have, like a public image almost. They like people to see them a certain way. They like to be seen in a certain light and in a certain perspective. With you, they want to be more vulnerable. They want to have you know deeper, more intimate parts of them. And they want you to accept them for it. They want to know that you will still care about them afterwards. And we've got Phoenix. Beautiful, mysterious, and regenerative. Beautiful. This is definitely, I think, beautiful. No, it hasn't come out. It hasn't come out, but this is definitely someone very physically attractive. This is definitely someone very physically attractive with all that Sagittarius energy, someone hot, basically. And definitely someone attractive. Mysterious coming out. Again, they try to keep a very tight hold on certain parts of their life. They try to keep a very tight hold on certain memories that they have. They don't let just anyone in. They consider it to be very, very complimentary, that they want you to know them on that level. And we've got monkey. Social and popular, talented with the hands, athletic and clever. Third athletic to come out, and talented with the hands. Again, someone very blessed. This is someone who's just very, very blessed. Social and popular. They're a very well liked, very well loved person. They're very popular amongst their peers, and I'm getting that they want to be more popular with you specifically. All right, loves, that is what I've got for you. I hope it was fun. I hope it was entertaining. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I will see you next time. Bye. All right, last but certainly not least, we have pile number 4 with the Queen of Diamonds. Now, the Queen of Diamonds is indicative of Capricorn energy. This is someone who is very, very, I'm hearing forthright, very, very straightforward. Someone who they have very high moral standards and very high standards in general, I'm hearing. They hold you in very high regard because they hold themselves in very high regard. This is someone who's a very, very hard worker. In fact, someone who might need help relaxing or might need help taking a break from things. I get the feeling that you are probably a very fun person. I'm getting that you are a very fun person, and they really, really admire how bright and sunny you are. I'm getting that this is a secret admirer for sure. Like, I don't think that a lot of you know this person. If you know them, it's more of a you know of them thing. At best, I'm getting that this is like an acquaintance. For most of you, though, I'm getting that this is someone who you don't really know. This is someone who, like, you might know around or know from around, but you don't have any real established relationship with them. I'm getting someone who, if not is literally older than you, is very, very mature. They're very emotionally mature, and they're very, I'm getting materially well off. Very comfortable. Comfortable is a good word. Though I am hearing that line from Crazy Rich Asians where the main character's boyfriend tells her that his family is comfortable, and she's like, all rich people say that. You're rich. For some of you, this is someone who has money. This is definitely someone who has a little bit of, who has a bankroll going on. Yeah, I'm getting strong Capricorn, Taurus, really earthy energy. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, very King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles energy. The Queen of Diamonds is indicative of the Queen of Pentacles. This person sees you as their ideal, I'm getting ideal mate, like their ideal match. They see you as a perfect match for them. Complimentary. I'm getting that you're very complimentary to them. You are someone who compliments them really well, which would make sense as someone who I'm getting is a really fun person. Again, this is someone who doesn't really know how to relax, someone who has a hard time taking a break and having a good time. Yeah, the 10 of Wands and the 7 of Pentacles. This is someone who overworks themselves. They take on too much, they overwork themselves, and especially when they feel like they aren't seeing proper results, they'll just keep pushing. They don't know how to take a break. They don't know how to, like, take a step back and, like, reorient themselves, maybe step away from the project for a second, come back with a fresh mind. This isn't someone who's good at that. They like to push through. They like to get results when they want results. I'm getting that you are a more patient person. I'm feeling more watery vibes. You are someone who's a little bit more go with the flow. And they really need that energy in their life. They really respect you, and they really, really want your energy and your influence in their life. I'm getting that you might be surprised that this person is so interested in you. Because I'm definitely getting that as much as they see you as their perfect match, it would probably surprise you that this is the kind of person who's into you. I don't think that this is your usual choice, and I don't think you are their usual choice either. Especially if you're someone who's openly spiritual, especially if you're someone who's, like, openly mystical. This feels more like a logical person. This feels more like someone who's, like, science-based, and they need, like, tangible, factual evidence for everything. Very, very quantifiable evidence kind of person. They really like to think of themselves as realistic and grounded, basically. They are still willing to be open-minded and give what you're into a shot. But that's the kind of dynamic that usually it would seem like it would be polarizing. But ultimately, they see it more as complementary. If they're more science-minded, you open their eyes to things that maybe they don't see. And they find that bridge in between where, like, between the mystical and the science-minded is quantum physics, right? Like, you act as a bridge between two separate ideals to them. They see you as someone who is someone who is complementary towards them in a way that will make them grow, in a way that will help them expand. I get that this is someone with really lofty ideals, though. Like, for some of you, this is someone who, like, they don't want to accept the fact that they're more open to broader ideas. Yeah, the Six of Swords. They're more willing to be open-minded. They're more willing to be even-headed in the transition between two different types of ideas because they're so attracted to you. Like, they don't want to admit that that's where this is coming from, that maybe it's not so much that there's some kind of overwhelming compatibility going on, as it is that they're attracted to you despite the fact that you're very different from them. I'm definitely getting someone who needs to rationalize everything. They really need to have an explanation for everything. And their inexplicable attraction to you is something that they really need to explain to themselves. They really want a firm grasp on it. They can't help themselves. This is someone who's very good at their job. Very, very talented at whatever they do. And I'm getting, for some of you, this is someone who is more creative in the sense of, like, a writer. I'm getting someone who's, like, very, very good with their words. But for others of you, this is someone who has more of a, like, grounded, down-to-earth job, like in banking or in, like, tech. Whatever they do, they're very, very good at it, and they will see a whole lot of progress in it. I'm getting someone who, like, advanced very young. They advanced through things very young. Someone who did really well in college, who graduated, if not on time, early. Someone who found a job really quickly. Someone who has been at that job, working their way up for a long time and working their way up quickly. Like, again, for some of you, this isn't even someone who's, like, older by any means. This is just someone who has managed to get to a very advanced point in their life very young. If you are on the younger end, this is like the top of the class. Tower energy. You are this person sees you as a very, very earth-shattering energy in their life. And the Tower energy is all about very, very intense, intimate appeal. This person is heavily attracted to you. Attracted to you in a way I'm getting that, like, it's like off-putting for them almost. Like, I'm getting that this is someone who is typically very confident. They have no reason not to be. Someone very logical, and they understand what their value is. They understand what their worth is. So they have no reason not to be confident. Not that they're, like, braggadocious or anything like that. Like, they know their worth. So they're not used to being tongue-tied. They're not used to how you make them feel. You make them feel like they don't know what to say. You make them feel off-footed. The attraction that they feel for you is earth-shattering in a way that puts them off kilter, that makes them uneven, that puts them on uneven footing. I'm getting someone whose mind goes blank when they see you smile. Like, whether, and for some of you, this is someone who knows you primarily online. I'm getting, like, Page of Swords energy, someone who, like, knows you mostly through, like, social media or anything like that. But even if that is the case, like, this is someone who I'm getting, if they were to see you smile, their whole mind would go blank. Like, they're very, very attracted to you, and it is in a way that is very brand new to them. All right, what more can we know, please, about who your secret admirer is? The Hierophant with that Taurus energy that I was mentioning from before. And the Hierophant in another deck of mine is also indicated by a bank. Again, this is someone who is very well off. This is someone who is very, very, if they haven't seen material success yet, they're well on their way to seeing material success in this lifetime. They're very set up. They have set themselves up for that kind of success in this lifetime. This is also someone who I'm getting believes in law and order. This is someone who is very, very well put together, someone who likes to very well organized is what I'm getting. Someone who likes to be on top of things, someone who likes routine, someone who, again, it's part of why you are so memorable to them, let's say. Part of why you stick out in their head so much and why you have stuck out in their head for so long is because you put them on uneven footing and they're not used to that. They're used to being in charge. They're used to being very, very grounded. They're used to being in control of themselves. And for some of them, in everything around them too. This is a person who has a level of authority under their belt. And you make them feel, I'm getting like uneducated, I'm getting young. This is someone who is used to feeling very mature, who you make feel very, very young and very, very new to things. It puts them off, but they also find it very attractive. They're very, very attracted to this fact about you. The Tower popping out again. I put it back in and it wanted to pop out again. Again, with all of the regardless of how in control they are, you put them so off kilter. There's just something about you that is earth-shattering to them. There's something about you that puts them so far off their usual game. And I am getting game. This is someone who might not rest very easily, but I'm getting that they don't hurt for romantic interest. This isn't someone who is hurting for romantic interest by any means. And so for them to be so put off by you and by how attracted they are to you is new, because it's not like they haven't had experience. It's not like they're not mature in that sense too. You just make them feel very young. You make them feel very inexperienced. You bring out these very youthful feelings and energies in them. And it's very rejuvenating for someone who's so used to being in control, for someone who at this point in their life I'm getting has felt that they can predict everything. Everything in their life has been very predictable up until this point. Not in a bad way, in a very, very routine way, in a way that they prefer for the most part. But you bring on spontaneity that they are not used to, and it's really refreshing for them. They find it to be really refreshing. Your energy is really rejuvenating for them. And the King of Pentacles with that Taurus energy, more Taurus energy, very, very strong earth energy. And Taurus energy isn't just earth energy, it's fixed energy too. And this is someone who's very well grounded. For the most part, they always have two solid feet on the ground and a firm head on their shoulders. It is very, very off-putting to them that you put them off their usual game. The King of Pentacles popping out also matches the Queen of Diamonds. That was your pile. That was your pile card. Again, this person sees you as their ideal mate. They see you as the perfect match for them. And they see you as someone who complements them really well. I'm getting that they're realizing they like being put off their game. They like not knowing what's going to happen next. This is someone who usually wouldn't be afraid to approach you, usually wouldn't have to talk themselves into going up to you. But you are brand new to them. You bring a new energy to their life. You make them worry that they might have to feel rejection, and that energy can be scary, but it's also very rejuvenating for someone who's so used to getting what they want. And the Lovers, they see you as their ideal mate. They definitely see you as their ideal mate. And the Lovers in this card is the Beauty and the Beast. again, this person sees you as their ideal mate, not because you two are totally compatible in the sense that you like all the same things, you act the same way. It's actually the exact opposite of that. This person sees you as their perfect mate because you are the exact opposite of them in a lot of ways. You bring a lot of joy and youth and rejuvenance to a life that they're now realizing had kind of stagnated because they had kept so strict a routine and so strict a schedule to it. They didn't realize that they weren't having fun until they saw you having a good time. They didn't realize that they wanted to have a good time until they wanted to have it by your side. This person sees you as a very bright ray of light. This person sees you as I'm getting this person sees you as someone who can save them from their routine, basically. The way that the way that Bella had to save the beast, right? The way that the beauty had to save the beast. This person sees you as someone who can save them from the routine that they've gotten trapped in. They hold you in very high regard. They definitely hold you in very high regard. And the Beauty and the Beast, the lover's energy there also lets me know that they're also, I'm getting almost like embarrassed at how intimately attracted to you they are. No other way to put it. They want this to be they want to see this as a very pure, very preordained, even for someone this logical, right? Like they want to see this as something very, very preordained. The Hierophant traditionally is indicated by the literal Pope. Like they want to see this as something that is very predestined, but the carnal attraction that they feel to you kind of gets in the way of that, like of the ideal that that they're like painting in their mind. It's really, funny isn't the right word for it, but it comes close. This person really wants to have like a fairy tale with you. They really want to convince themselves that this is like a fairy tale romance and a fairy tale energy. And it's not necessarily that that's not the case, right? Like this person, at least from their point of view, they definitely already see this as very fairy tale energy as long as you reciprocate their feelings. But they this is definitely the kind of person who can get stuck seeing things in black and white occasionally, and the type of carnal attraction they feel to you, the level of carnal attraction they feel to you is very it gets in the way of the perfect pure fairy tale, basically. It's not a bad thing, but it grays up the black and white that they're playing with and that they like to operate in. And the Two of Cups, this person is so into you on like a very deep spiritual emotional level. It's part of why they really want to ignore how like carnally attracted they are to you, because they really do see you as like this perfect ideal mate on this very pure fairy tale level. The Lovers and the Two of Cups, with the King and Queen of Pentacles showing up, like they see you as this perfect ideal mate for them, and they want to get across when they approach you. They want it to be very clear that that is how they regard you. They regard you in a super highlight. They've already placed you on a bit of a pedestal. Like even in the King of Pentacles, this King of Pentacles doesn't feature a literal king sitting on a throne, right? Regardless of how you identify, this person identifies as the turtle here, and you would identify as the actual tree growing on top of them. They see you as someone that they would raise up. They see you as someone who they hold in incredibly, incredibly high regard. It's really sweet energy. And the Justice card. Justice card with that Libra relationship energy. This person is very graceful. This is a very, very graceful person. This is someone who is very good with their words. I'm getting, they might be someone who doesn't speak very often. I'm getting quiet but firm. When they do speak, people listen to them. Again, this is someone who has a level of authority under their belt. This is someone who has there are people who look up to them. They might hold you in incredibly high regard, but there are people who look up to them. And they might not speak often, but when they speak, there are people who really listen to them. This is also someone with very, very, very high moral. I think I mentioned this at the very beginning of the reading. Someone with very high moral standards and someone with very high standards just in general. With that justice energy, they hold very lofty ideals. They're a person that believes in like order. They believe in like justice. You know what I mean? Law and order. And we've got Ram, confident, natural leader, masculine, sexual appeal. Yep, definitely. You, regardless of how you identify, this person is coming through as that masculine sexual appeal is just doubling down on the fact that regardless of how you identify, they are the turtle in this picture. They are the beast in this picture. Like, they identify as the more, in a traditional sense, they identify as someone who wants to take care of you. They want to take care of you. It doesn't matter how like masculine, feminine, or anything else you identify. They want to take care of you from a traditional point of view. This is also someone who's very confident. As I was saying, they know that they can take care of you. They can make those kinds of decisions in their head because it's not a question of whether or not they can take care of you. They know they can take care of you. If you're willing to let them take care of you, they will take care of you. Again, if this person hasn't seen material abundance in this lifetime, they will see material abundance in this lifetime, and they know it. This is such sweet energy. This person sees you as their ideal mate. This is the Two of Cups in this deck is from the Epic of Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh and Inuki, I can't quite remember his partner's name, but Gilgamesh loved his partner so much that when he died, he basically bankrupted the kingdom of Mesopotamia to build him a statue and to honor him so his soul would go on to the other world in peace. And he went into like a massive existential crisis because he lost him. Like, they were exact opposites. So one of them was meant to be like a wild man that was supposed to take down Gilgamesh, who was the king at that time. And they ended up falling in love instead. Like, this person sees you as the perfect foil to them, the opposite side of their coin. You show them a different side of life that they really, really value. What more can we know, please, about who your secret admirer is? We've got the Scorpion, adaptable, survivor, and loyal. Loyal pops out most strongly there. With all of this romantic energy here, this person is never gonna get over you. At least they can't ever imagine a time where they ever get over you. They will approach you at some point. I'm getting slow moving energy. I can't give any kind of timeline as to when they'll approach you. They're even coming through as a turtle here. But they will approach you at some point because they have already sworn a certain type of loyalty to you. They definitely want you. They want a chance with you. Regardless of how long it takes them to approach you, they have already become very loyal to the future with you that they've made up in their head. And we've got Hawk, sharp-sighted, quick-witted, and reclusive. Quick-witted and sharp-sighted both pop out there. One with quick-witted, this is someone who's very intelligent. I think that's already come up once or twice before, but this is definitely someone who's very intelligent and someone who is, I'm getting in a profession that requires them to use their head and to think very quickly on their feet. There's someone who they work really well with their back pressed up against the wall. They work really well under like a pressing timeline. Sharp-sighted, this is someone who's definitely keeping an eye on you. They really want to know. I'm getting because they're not specifically in your life. They don't know the details of like what your romantic they have so much they have so much that they're already like committing to this idea of you and them having a future together, and they don't really know what your situation is right now. They part of them feels like there's no way you can't already be in a relationship, but trust that this person has been keeping an eye out. They've been trying to figure out what your romantic situation is like. If you are in a relationship and they know that, then they are watching you like a hawk to see if it ends. They are keeping sharp sights on you to see if that is a thing that continues. And we've got owl, intuitive and sharp-sighted, protective and intelligent. Again, with the intelligent, protective comes across a little bit like possessive, but protective is also, this person is very sweet. Again, this person wants to take care of you. This is definitely someone who, from their point of view, they would want to take care of you. Sharp-sighted coming through again. Again, this person just has they're watching you to see how your romantic life looks. I'm also getting that this is the kind of person who has a little bit of like a fairy, again, they've got a little bit of a fairy tale in their head anyway. If you were ever to like get a flat on the side of the road and this person were driving by, it would be like their ultimate goal to be able to like save you from a bad situation and have that be like the entry point to the two of you knowing each other. Like they've definitely got a very, very caring streak that comes out strongly when they think of you. And we've got penguin, cute and playful, loving and loyal. Loving and loyal popping out most there. And I'm getting someone with a baby face. This is someone who might look younger than they are, or I'm hearing someone who might have a beard to cover up a baby face, if we're talking about like a masculine, or someone who in a more feminine sense, someone who might like wear makeup to make themselves look older because they've got more of a round face. Like, just cute in that sense. Loving and loyal pop out again, though, because again, this person is very loyal already to the idea of a future with you. They're already very loyal to the fairy tale that they've painted of the two of you together in their head. It's a very sweet energy. This is very, very wholesome, sweet energy. I can understand why they are off-put almost by how intimately attracted to you they are. Well, that is what I've got for you, loves. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope it was fun. I hope it was entertaining. I will see you next time. Bye.